Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of July the 11th through the 17th of 2016. Now, after last week, wow, new moon in Cancer, okay? Mars is going forward in Scorpio, slowly, but it's moving, all right? And so much water energy around, not just Cancer, but water. You've got Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. They're all there. And I imagine that with the new moon and everything, you were really feeling those emotions. So, how does that play out for you this week? Well, finally, there's a shift, okay? You have to remember that in life, everything changes. Okay, so on the 12th, we have Venus moving into Leo. And on the 14th, we have Mercury moving into Leo. So you'll begin to feel that shift away from all of the emotion. And maybe have some of your passion return for things. You know, that fire within you to get some things done. It'll also bring a little bit of fire to the communication as well. So that'll be interesting. But a nice change of pace. It'll help balance things out a little bit. Now, what do we have here in the cards? Wow, I looked at this and I'm like, do we want to reshuffle? Oh my goodness, you've never heard me say that before, have you? I have a feeling that the week, for some, is off to, I don't want to say a complicated start, but revelations that kind of just knock your socks off. And they don't have to be bad. Keep that in mind. I think they get you thinking, and they get you wondering. So it's not like there's devastation here. What I feel is like, you start all this what if and the worrying. I mean, what if you heard that the love of your life, whom you never had a chance to have a relationship with, was getting a divorce? Oh my goodness. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine all the, forget the emotion that's still there in the beginning of the week. There's something happening that's really like shaking up your whole thought process. It's not necessarily stressing you out, but you don't have like, it's like someone giving you a piece of information, but you don't have enough information. And you're just kind of like, there's a lot of worry around it because you don't know what to think. But you know that times are changing. I mean, oh my goodness, they're changing. This is almost bizarre, like the way this looks. Like maybe you thought this would just never happen, and then all of a sudden something is revealed to you. There is something going on. It's not a part of that thing that you were hoping to do. This is just like karma coming in and saying, hey, guess what? I got some news for you. I'm telling you, this is different. And everybody's going to have a different story. And I know I'm going to start hearing them. But I'm telling you, it just like, I think it really gets you thinking. Like, gets you thinking a lot. Because it shifts your entire perspective on, you know how I keep saying that so many of you haven't made it out of that other mode because you just, you know what I'm saying, you don't see any other way forward and you keep clinging on to, this isn't going to happen. There's something that's coming in that if you're not with the program yet, you're going to hear it and you're going to be like, oh my goodness. And then you're going to start wondering, what comes next? What am I going to do now? What am I, and I'm telling you, it's not in a bad way. There's something good associated with this. It's just that you like, it's really kind of catching you off guard. So you might have a couple nights where you don't sleep because you're like, this wasn't even on my radar, like that kind of a thing. But like I always tell everyone, things always change. Change happens. Okay? So, here we are. This presents some form of an opportunity. And remember, there's always opportunity for some slight new beginnings in life as well. Now, not only does this revelation or this out of the blue thing, have you thinking and worrying and everything else, it really has you contemplating. What do you want in your life? Who do you want in your life? Let's suppose there was someone that, you met and they were married at the time and, something happened. That's just a scenario I'm throwing out here. Then you find out, well, you have to stop and think about it, right? At this point in your life, if you could rearrange your life some and really work on it like you're trying to do, is it possible that somewhere down the line, this piece of news is going to impact you? I think so. All right. So you really have to stop and think, what is it that you truly want? Okay. Was what happened in the past good or was it bad? There's a lot of thought here, a lot of thought, and really looking for, mental clarity. Just part of you wants to hurry. Let's put it that way. Okay, let's just go get things done. Let's put all the work in and be ready for whatever this is whenever it happens. And, it's just funny. But, if there is a motivator and the universe wants to find a way to motivate you, it will. There's no two ways about it. But these stories are going to be as varied as many people are out there. Do you know? It's that type of a thing. So, all I can say is that when it comes to your own life, continue with what you've been trying to do because you're gaining more forward momentum every day with Mars, all right? And this entire month is really good for you to keep that up because you're not near, a Mercury retrograde or its shadow at this point in time. So keep organizing, keep prioritizing, and keep clearing your path, okay? Your belief system is becoming very strong, like your faith. Like the more you allow yourself to proceed forward away from these other things that, you've been tangled up in for so long, the stronger your beliefs become. The more, I want to say, you're not totally at peace yet. It's not that, but it's this understanding, okay? And seeking guidance where you need it, that type of a thing. Because sometimes, even when you feel guided, everyone always comments on the birds. Aren't they loud here? They are outside, my friends. Now, it's that type of a thing, okay? It's there. Whatever you need, that wise counsel is there for you. Now, prayers being answered. Is that at all possible? This is tied up in with the surprise that comes in. Wow. It's amazing because through this surprise thing that comes up and pops up this week, not only are prayers being answered, but you're getting a lot of information. And I'm telling you, this really leaves you. I'm thinking of certain of my friends here going, oh my goodness, like what do I do now? Like trying to take a realistic approach and knowing that in a few months your life could be very, very different. It's out of the blue. It's out of nowhere. And it's sort of redirecting you from where you thought you were going to go. And this is one of those things that, like, I have to say it and emphasize it because I have my reasons, but I do not believe that everything in life happens for a reason. But with regard to things that have not worked out for you over the course of this past year, where you were trying to work things out and go forward, some of these reasons are becoming more evident because you can kind of see where you're being redirected, even though you can't totally see the outcome yet. It is like truly, truly amazing, all right? So it's like the future's coming. It's coming. When I said that this lights a fire, it really, truly does. It has you basically pulling out all of the stops with I want to say your creativity, your talents, whatever you have to do, utilizing all of the resources available to you because something is coming your way. I'm telling you. And it's almost like you sort of kind of know it and you're not even sure, but you know it's coming. The word generosity keeps coming up here. It's a very huge theme this week, okay? You've worked very hard, and this isn't necessarily monetary. It's like you're starting to feel as though you're reaping the rewards. Could even be spiritual, But here you are, giving to others, somehow paying it forward. Whether you're sharing your knowledge, the clarity that you've achieved, there's a lot going on here. But, you know, there are people that contact me frequently, and I tell them, you know, you've come so far. Now is the time for you to be someone else's shoulder, that type of thing. It's there. It's generosity comes in many forms. So this is all tied in with the guidance. You may be the one giving guidance. You know, these types of experiences that so many of you have had, helping others is very therapeutic. So when it's like wisdom that you didn't hope to achieve, but you have because you've been through so much. But then you start to recognize situations and you're like, I know that one. Okay, I can help you with that. It's that kind of a thing. And it gives you a very carefree feeling. So I'm just really liking this. Your stride, in other words, changes a little bit. Like you pick your head up a little more this week and just be careful. I don't know why I would say that. Like, just be careful. Boy, where is that coming from? Oh my goodness. But yeah, there is that, you know, watch where you're walking kind of thing, because you don't want to trip yourself up. This actually seems like in the physical sense. But in the meantime, I see you helping other people. And that is really, truly important. And I think you're going to realize that in some way, shape, or form, each of you possesses many gifts and many talents that you have that you can share with others. So you can be the calming force in someone's life, because there's definitely all over here, you know, like the storm is brewing. It's never like we talk about. A lot of people write to me and they say, oh, I can relate to this. But you have to remember, there's always people out there who aren't listening, whose lives are probably, you know, maybe at this point suddenly totally shattered. And that may be you being the shoulder, helping them out. And I think it gives you a really good feeling. But now, this whatever is going on, there is just information. I'm telling you, information coming your way. And I think you finally feel like you're starting to work out the details. That's something that's just been like every time you tried to move forward with all these retrogrades and you just didn't seem to make any progress. Now your efforts are like starting to count for something and you're getting somewhere. So this is a very positive thing. While it may in some aspect to you not feel positive, because at one time you were kind of feeling stabbed in the back, it really truly is, because it shows you that the future is going to be brighter. There is no doubt about it in my mind, none whatsoever. So this is all about choices. Now, when it comes to making choices, see, there's been for such a long time confusion around the choices. And I think that's a lot of it is associated with the fuzziness from retrogrades, you know, because you kept having to go back and look at things and you really want to go forward. But there is something about that hindsight. You know, you can't change the past, but you can learn from it. All right. So there is like, there's more here this week than meets the eye. Let's put it that way. There is a great deal of clarity coming with certain situations that you probably never even thought you would achieve. Okay, I'm telling you, information, things happening, details, get all of the facts, because it starts feeling like, is it too good to be true? Right? Oh my word. I'm waiting to hear from all my friends going, Cecilia, guess what? Guess what? I mean, this is amazing. Now, some of you are going to figure out things regarding your actual residence. I don't think now, but I think between now and October. But this week is kind of what sets you off in the direction of having a better idea. Because up until this point, you know, you might not have entertained the idea of selling your home or moving from the location you're in, whether it be an apartment or someone else's home. There is a lot here. Your happiness is at stake. You want a fair and balanced life. So there's a lot going on. And for some of you, it comes through the choices you make regarding legal matters. This is, I'm just like, okay, alrighty then. It amazes me. I'm going to put down some more cards here as I keep talking, because this is like one of those weeks where it's not just that things change, but your whole view on everything changes. It truthfully changes, because you've been going along and trying and waiting and like, what is going to happen? That kind of thing. So, you're wanting a stronger foundation, and it isn't always possible to figure it out on your own. That's the thing. Some of you have had to have some outside help just to keep you stable, whether through a family member or whatever, but it's been there for the most part for most of you. Another day I want to address some things that have come to my attention. It just reminds me when I say this, because not everybody is in a stable position, and we'll probably likely talk about that in my group. But emotionally, this week, you'll see things start to level out a little bit better, as you see Venus and Mercury move on into Leo, which is good, all right? So you're going to see that switch from water to fire, and it kind of gives you a more of a rejuvenated feeling, okay? The water might have been bogging some of you down a little bit, but you're going to see that change, so that's good. I do like that. So what's going on here is that with whatever's coming in, and that you're doing, it's not just what you hear or what happens, it's also what you're already working on. So there's a lot happening here, but you are working on, if you felt really humbled by the universe before and things didn't work out, you're getting back on that horse, of life, and taking back control and moving forward. All right? I'm telling you, there's an opportunity here this week, maybe a small one, could be financial, but security is at stake here. But I think it's more in the goals for security than it is in something big happening where you suddenly have money plop in your lap. It's that finally seeing yourself taking the necessary steps to make your life feel more secure, because it definitely is something that's a happening thing. Now, wow. It just, going back to the beginning, with this surprise thing, it's, are you saying to yourself by the end of the week, I knew it all along? Something happens, something is said to you, something takes place, and you're like, wow, wow. I knew it could be one day. I knew something could, but there it is. And it's, like, patience brought you to it. And maybe over the years, over time, following that, that inner voice, that intuition that had you saying, okay, it's a possibility, but it's not a possibility now. Okay. So you leave it on the back burner and you forget about it. You go on and you create the plans in your life. But somewhere in one of my posts, I think it was a written one, I think it may have been the one for the new moon, okay? And this is still incorporated this week, like within that new moon energy, okay? The things that have happened that as a result, there's some form of a commitment. Because I left that dangling at the end of that post. Here it is again, okay? Doesn't mean suddenly someone comes in and sweeps you off your feet. I don't think so. But there's something in the air. And if it's in the love realm, you're going to start to take notice. Because I think it's a part of what is happening. There's a big shift. Not just with the planets, but with karma itself. where you're really starting to notice some things. I'm just going, you know what, I want another card. I want to know what's going to happen. Oh my goodness, you know, just like everybody else. See, you're still, you know, moving to beat the band. It's still that same time frame. Like September, when we get to that eclipse. And I already said, mark your calendars for September 17th. I don't know why. But somewhere within a couple days either way, you're going to notice things happening all around you. Doesn't even have to be for you. But the things that are happening are going to affect your life. You're still working on getting to where you're going with all your responsibilities and all of your burdens. And like I said, just moving to beat the band. But you're, I think, balancing better between the old and the new, because not everything is the same as it was before. So you're really working on this and working on this. But I really think September, that week, I had said when I was talking one day, I was talking about like the 10th, the 12th, and then I started talking about the 17th. So the penumbral lunar eclipse in Pisces, which I believe is the last in the series, comes up on the 16th. Big week. That's where we're headed. But you're seeing little inklings of it now, of whatever's taking place. So even if it seems bad, it's good. Whatever happens to shake up your world, it's all good. That's the thing. There's something this week is I can't talk anymore. Oh my goodness. That's how I'm like looking at this and saying there is just so much here. But wait for it, because it's gonna just like boom, here we are, and things are moving. Okay? So get ready. I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll see you here again next week. And as always, take care.